When I am looking at the domain and range for the absolute value function, I'm going to first remember that my domain are my x values and my range are my y values. If I'm using inequality notation, as we said up above, the domain is going to be all real numbers. So you could do it, let me just think. I'm going to be formal. Negative infinity, less than x, less than infinity. That's using my inequality notation. To use interval notation, which is my preference, I'm going to do negative infinity to infinity. I'm going to use parentheses here because I can't actually touch infinity. They translate to the same thing as a less than sign as opposed to a less than or equal to. And if I'm using set builder notation, this is some strange stuff. Y'all are all familiar with it because you've seen it in Algebra 2. The thing is it doesn't need a whole lot of direct instruction because it's pretty weird looking, but y'all are so good at this that you get the point. The bracket is set builder notation, and then we always put the variable we're concerned about, and in this case, domain are our x values. Then I put this vertical line, and the way I read this would be x such that x is an element of all real numbers. And then I close my brackets. So this weird E, it's a Greek E, that's element of, yes. And this bar right here, the vertical bar, means such that. So those are some kind of funky notations that we use when we're using set builder. Just some rules of set builder. If I look at the range, as we said up above, because my vertex is at 0, 0, I change directions. My y values never enter a negative range, so 0 is actually my lowest y value. And I do actually touch it, so my y values are going to be less than or equal to 0. And I'm going to go up forever, so I would say that the y values have to be less than infinity. So just if you remember, I use greater than or less than for anything that has arrows, yes. And then sometimes you can use an open dot as well. We don't do that as much in Algebra 2. And if I have a less than or equal to, greater than or equal to, I'm going to put a comma between those, then that would be if I have a specific endpoint where it's solid or perhaps it just stops. Okay, so that's the inequality notation for the range, and that you're welcome to use that if you would like to. I like set build or notation. I am touching a 0. That is the lower bound of my range. I'm going to put the 0. I'm going to put a bracket because that means that I actually touch it, and then I go up forever. So I use the infinity symbol, and I can't touch infinity, so I use a parenthesis. I'm doing set builder. It's similar. Still use my bracket. This time I'm talking about y values because this is range. So I'm looking at the y's such that, and here you could do it a couple of different ways. I would say y is greater than or equal to 0, and I think that covers it. You could also put this entire inequality statement here inside the set builder notation if you would like to. This tends to be a little bit more concise.